Так, прием, прием. Да, просыпаемся. Большой красный вендор заставляет работать в субботу утром. Потерпим немножечко. Сессия, посвященная результативному кибербезу, конкретно с названием «А готовы ли
CyberSec section.
по бирже за результат?»
And who would be responsible for the outcome? This is the topic, and this is the topic which has very good kind of internal challenge. Should we move from processes to understanding that CyberSec, it's a process sometimes, it's a slow-going, never-ending, but the CyberSec is boils down to an outcome. What is desired outcome, and how do we come to such an outcome, and what are success components? My name is Elman Beymetov. I'm the director for the product business development Positive Technologies, and these are our panelists who are with us today. Aldar Huzailov, the CEO of InnoStage.
Sergey Sherstabitov,
the CEO of the Angara company. Pavel Kulyakov, the IT security from the SDAP and director of the information security from the Ministry of Digital Development.
И давайте начнем с того,
And now, let's discuss about the expectations. Do you feel the new attitude to you as the market players from your clients' companies? Do you think there is a new inquiry from the top managers if you are from the clients' companies, like, so that you ensure outcomes in the CyberSec? What has changed in the market in the last 5 to 7 years? Aidar, let's begin with you.
Всем привет, я, получается, первый.
Hi guys, and looks like I'm the first guy and the first guy to speak, and who would be responsible for ready to be in charge for the results? Actually, I think in last 1 year, we've got like 5 years of experience and seeing things differently and coming to a new reality of CyberSec. I remember Positive Hack Days 2 years ago, we had been speaking about it would be great if top management would think about CyberSec, and now many of those CEOs know firsthand what cybersecurity is about. They had to. And if you take a look at us and as industry representatives and those who make money in the cybersecurity, I guess now we have a totally different inner perception, and now we have a different responsibility for the outcome, what we provide to our clients and customers, and so on. And basically, makes you wonder, makes you think about the business model. Like, what do we do? What do we offer? Well, a couple of years ago, you could say that, yes, we are primarily an integrator. Now I understand that we are much more than an integrator. We are responsible for the results. Lest hackers would be a threat to the business of our clients and customers. And for us, it means reputational risks. And thinking like that, we are trying to understand what can we do? How can we provide different results to our clients? And actually, yeah, you could speak different things. Again, Sergey, do you feel that you have a different perspective, or people have different perspective about you? Market is changing very rapidly, and this idea that in 1 year, in the last year, we've got 5 years worth of experience. Yes, I would say yes. You want to bring about some good results. You want to provide good and positive things for your clients. Yes, we do. And all of us. I mean, we're being pushed to certain actions, or we end up in a certain situation, or we create this situation, or it's being formed outside. And And the second path is not so desirable and much more risky. So now many of our clients and many of the people from the ecosystems like integrators and developers, who, by the way, speaking about the market changes, I think the main beneficiary of those metamorphoses which are happening, those are Russian developers. It's an open up opportunity that they are seeing right now. It gives a lot, and now you can see a lot of new interesting product decisions, product solutions, and many new developments. Now, customers, they are looking more and more at services, while before we had been trying to tell them that, InfoSec services, it's something which can provide you and your company more business results for less money. And in a shortened time frame. Now it really does happen, and those services are becoming more and more popular in a number of fields. Speaking about services, I can say that cyber insurance services, for some reason, they do not fly. It didn't take off. Some of our big partners and integrators have been saying that, and even insurance companies are trying to jump on this bandwagon, but wouldn't say that the market is taking it. And those hacks, those breaks and leaks, they will continue to be a pressure for us, and eventually we would have to develop the whole industry. Thank you. Pavel, over to you. Hi, everyone. I want to say that, 5 years worth of experience, 3.5 years ago, we have to give up this like 3 and 5 years, and we gotta live in the paradigm of the last year and a half. Since February 24 of 2022, things have changed. And now, what's different now? What is different? Top management, company owners, they have a totally different perspective on information security. You know that many companies have been hacked, have been breached. Many companies had become the subject to DDoSes and phishing attacks. And we got this sort of like reformatting. People are moving to different paradigms, like the InfoSec, it's like ongoing process of becoming better and blah, blah, blah. But where is the result? Where is that outcome? Do you have like implemented firewalls and means of analysis, penetration tests? And how do you evaluate those pen tests? And what Sergey has mentioned today, that it's great that here on the Russian market we do have some companies which provide InfoSec services, which for their internal clients enable you to show the result. People guys have expertise, they come, they do it, and this outcome is seen. It's not going to take like a half a year or a year depending on a project, but you can see it right away. In our case, when we had to protect the e-signatures, we got connected to the service like in 3 days, and first, I wanted to build it in-house. We had like 3.5 months, but today, this 3.5 months, we simply do not have the luxury of time. And many companies beginning to understand it. And we are moving to a new paradigm to being very specific. And okay, we have a threat, we have the risk, and we have an outcome. Okay, thank you. Vladimir? Can you add something? As a regulator, I guess we can just add some fuel to the fire, I am surprised. It's a Saturday morning, it's a full house. Usually it's different. Thank you guys for joining us today. Let's remember this section. And let's admit that if I'm saying like we, and I'm speaking that the InfoSec professionals professionals, I guess you are the
вынуждены, должны и уже
All
по-другому
of
не
us.
может быть отвечать непосредственно за результат.
all of us
Мы вот
have to
ждали,
be
что бизнес
responsible
нас
for
услышит, или
outcomes.
руководство услышит.
We were
Вот
expecting
они
that
услышали,
the
они
senior
просят
managements of the
конкретные
companies will hear us,
результаты.
and
Всё
now
равно
they want
внедрили в
specific
firewall, не
results. They
внедрили,
do not care
полностью
about your
построили,
firewall.
купили,
You have it
не
or
купили,
you
всё,
not, you
затраты.
bought it, you
Им
didn't
важно,
buy it.
какой
Like it's
конечный
all just
результат
cost.
и кто
They
за
want
него
to get some
отвечает.
final result,
И
and
это
who will be
такая история,
responsible
с
for it.
которой мы все должны, соответственно,
And
встать и
this,
сказать, да,
like all of
каждый
us,
из нас
we have to stand up and say,
вынужден отвечать.
yes,
Неважно,
each of us is now
верите
have
вы
to
в
be
то, что вы
responsible.
сможете
It doesn't
обеспечить,
matter
или
whether you
вы
believe that
точно
you'll be able to
верите,
provide
что
it or
вы не
not, or
сможете
you're
обеспечить,
saying that
точно
no,
есть
I will
вероятность, что
not
вас
be
взломают,
able to
вы всё
ensure
равно должны отвечать за конечный
security,
результат.
but still you have to be
И,
responsible
если
for
честно,
a
начнем,
final
наверное, с
outcome.
более позитивной ноты. Мы сегодня с
And
этим не
let's
справляемся.
start
Ну,
on
то
a
есть мы
positive
не можем,
like note. We
поговорить
cannot do
с
that today.
руководством на
We
понятном
cannot talk to a
языке.
management of a
Мы,
company,
вот в
speak
Минске,
their
например,
business
очень часто
language.
приходят
In my
документы, проекты
department,
с просьбой
I always get some
поддержать их,
projects and
рассмотреть,
documents saying, please support,
оценить,
please
и там
review,
вот длинный проект
please
на
give
комплексное
expert
построение
evaluation,
информационной
like
безопасности,
building
вот эти вот все
information
слова, которые
security,
мы
and
знаем.
all these kind of words that we know.
Спецификация, огромные проекты, схемы,
You know,
пояснительные записки. Мы
specs and
смотрим на них
schemes, and you
и,
name it.
ну,
You look at
говорим,
all
нам
these
нужно, чтобы вы
documents.
поддержали. Я
You know,
спрашиваю
and
лично,
I've been asked,
что
like,
вы
please
тут
support us.
делаете?
Okay, fine.
Мы
How
вот
can we support
построим
you?
комплексную систему.
Well,
Что
we want to
будет?
build this kind of
Ну,
integrated
мы
system.
удовлетворим
What it's about,
требованиям.
we're going to
Каким
meet
требованиям?
requirements.
Вот
What kind of
этого
requirements?
регулятора.
Like of this regulator. Okay,
Хотим
go to this
ответить,
regulator.
окей. А
But
тогда
when I get it from the
какой
Ministry of
результат?
Digital
И, если
Department,
честно,
what will be your
сегодня
desired outcome? And
очень
frankly,
часто,
guys, today,
вот, ну, мы с вами
InfoSec
не можем
professionals
нормально
like you and I,
объяснить, какой будет
we
результат.
cannot
Они говорят,
explain
вот,
what will be the final result.
я говорю, здорово,
Well,
результат.
we're going to implement VM.
Ну,
So what is your outcome? We'll be looking for vulnerabilities. Okay, give me the result. The good result when it comes to the management of the company is saying, unfortunately, today, it takes us 127 days to deal with vulnerabilities, but we want in the critical segments to fix it in 12 hours, and it's 80 million rubles. No, like I'm a big corporations, and we need for all class of solutions. You need to explain to the management what CM is all about. You just have to give, or sorry, speak on the language of results. Sometimes I even feel ashamed because IT guys come to me and they speak about IT projects and they give me some business indicators for some executive authority and branch. And on the other hand, InfoSec professionals, and they come to me and say that we will close such and such requirements. Okay, fine. So we all have to come to grips that yes, now we're being heard. We're heard, and this is great because they're also concerned. They pay attention to InfoSec industry. They get all these kind of scary stories, and we should not let them down. We have to adapt and learn how to speak with them and to be responsible for the final result. Thank you, Vladimir. You've touched upon some of the questions, and hey, it's about what kind of outcomes the top management is expecting. What kind of outcomes can you provide? And you, as the CEOs of InfoSec, as executives, what are you providing? I will begin with us, Positive Technology company. We also think in terms of resultative cybersecurity. We have tried to ask this question: what is the intolerable events, critical intolerable events? How can we make sure that hackers would not be able to intrude into the client's infrastructure, which we have access to as we provide tech support and you name it? It's one of the business lines. We want to make sure that the penetration would be impossible. And secondly, so that you would not be able to implement supply chain attacks through our infrastructure when the hacks and enthusiasts would be able to exploit infrastructure of other companies, our clients. So these are the two examples which are very important in companies. And InfoSec is built based on these kind of notions in terms of getting the outcome. I'll begin with Paul. What kind of examples, like wordings, what executives are expecting of you? What kind of results you could give us as the big guidelines sort of that we should be striving for?
Ну, смотри,
Well,
вот как Владимир сказал, да, там вот внедрение
as Vladimir
да,
pointed
это
out,
не результат.
implementing CM is not an outcome.
Если говорить там, например, в терминологии недопустимых событий,
Speaking about the terminology, using terminology of non-tolerable events, what are the non-tolerable events? This would be a personal data leak, this would be the commercial secret leak,
простой
and
логистики, складов,
logistics idling, warehousing idling, and all other internal processes and assets which sort of like underpin all of our activities. And
исходя из оценки и понимания, мы понимаем,
based on this understanding,
мы делаем вывод о том, что
we come to a conclusion.
ну, если перевозить будем, и кто-то узнает,
Steal money from us. I mean, if we transport money in an armored vehicle, yes, the money can be stolen. Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
Я спросил, можно
know,
ли у них деньги
stealing money,
украсть,
you know.
просто там только у нас
I've just
риски
asked the guy,
утечки, да простой.
can the money be stolen to you? Like, because our risks only the leaks, but how about if anybody can steal the money? Thank you for the idea. Regulator is messing up and with us and interfering or giving suggestions.
вот, это пример диалога бизнеса.
Anyway, it's an example of a dialogue between the business and regulator, and very efficient for this matter.
Исходя
Anyway,
из оценки
So based on evaluating intolerable events and evaluating different scenarios, we can come and say, folks, we have these absolutely intolerable events which could be irreversible. And based on that, since they're accepting that and they do not want this to happen, then they say, okay, folks, what can we provide you? What can we do? We have to do this, this, and this. We understand those who are working with money, what kind of access they have, what kind of workstations they are working from, maybe some variables, what are the access points, and then we make sure that we safeguard and protect those guys. The next step would be monitoring for these assets and monitoring for users' credentials not to be compromised. And then you do the role things and all the policies, instructions and stuff.
В сумме примерно какой?
So speaking about financial loss, what would be the sensitive financial loss? How much money?
Какой прямой финансовый ущерб для
What would be
вашего
direct financial loss for the management would be unacceptable? No, I cannot say that. It's more than my pay. More than my pay.
Она должна гармонизироваться со стоимостью потерь. Вот стоимость защиты моя зарплата.
The cost of defense should be sort of like proportional to the potential losses, right?
Сергей, что ты можешь сказать
Sergey,
про ожидания?
what can you say about top management's expectations and what are you facing on the market whenever you guys speak about real outcomes of InfoSec services? I'm not going to say like revolutionary new things. We have to ensure business processes continuity. It's one of the key things. And I believe that while previously we were more involved in data protection, now speaking about continuity, business continuity comes to the forefront and enjoys more attention. And speaking about what we have some reputation. In this case, it's formulated like that, and I want to say that it's about reputation. And this is true for any organization and individual. I think the main asset of ours is a reputation. And for a company, InfoSec company, it's also about reputation. So, with our internal asset, information assets, we are using the same criteria which our clients use for their own, Like in our case, it's a reputation, business continuity, some financial losses which may be incurred. And I believe, thank God we didn't have to deal with this yet, but I'm trying to quote one guy, one famous political guy. He said, any problem has name and last name. And speaking about the money loss, it can be quickly verified. Again, if we have the more sophisticated covert operations, then we see the role and significance of the InfoSec department, InfoSec services, which have to be like a spin out this situation and doing the digital forensics and to punish the perpetrators.
Можешь подытожить, можешь добавить что-то, как удобно.
Да я, наверное, да, действительно, вот
I don't know, what can you say? Yes, I will try to think about that
окей, инфобиз.
and to put myself in the CEO shoes. Okay, InfoSec, but the CEO should be primarily thinking about business sustainability, business development, and probably information security is just one of the bricks in a wall which may impact business sustainability. And on the grand scheme of things, putting myself in the shoes of the top management, I should not be thinking about that. Yesterday, on a plenary session, we've been speaking about the fire safety. It was an interesting example. If I'm a CEO and I know that my fire safety processes are okay, that's not a concern for me. I do not lose any sleep over it. But now, for a year and a half, things have changed, and here and now, any CEO has to spend their time and their resource to pay attention to that. If we expect from the CEO just to be concerned, I mean, signing up some budgets, and that's not enough. I don't see many examples that in any CEO calendars they would have, monthly meetings on the information security. It looks like everybody is concerned, people are afraid, but nothing is being done. And this would be great to identify your own resource and to pay attention. Pay attention and focusing on this task. I think now CEOs not only work with InfoSec departments and to apply some KPIs to them, but largely think about changing their processes and have an impact on IT departments in the company. Because usually hackers are working through IT. These kind of thoughts I have whenever we discuss of what is happening with the CEOs right now. I'd like to give you some stats which Alexei helped me to collect according to his Telegram channels. It's a question as what is the result of a cybersec for you? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to achieve? And I will give you now some of the answers. 2% of people never even thought about that. And this is great, only 2%. I'm not fired, and this just as long as I'm not being fired. It's a 9%. 9%, guys. 12%. They say that the main result is just the processes of attestation, just getting their info systems kind of licensed. And then I begin from the top and then go down. It's no incidents or decreasing amount of incidents. And another option is decreasing loss from the incidences if a company can weigh incidents.
Показательным был ответ, что 22%
and 22% of people in the poll, they want to comply with the legislation. I think it's a good trend if we'll become more resultative, if this audience will have a different perspective. And next idea, basically you could choose several answers. So all in all, it's great. You know what? It's about business and the business trust, and people say it's like a technical component. I mean, passing bug bounty and passing successful passing tests, it will be a great marker. that yes, we have achieved results. So these are the results of the poll, and those who have been a part of it, about 1,700 people. It's quite a good sampling, and basically it looks like the main outcomes would be decrease amount of incidents, and whenever possible to calculate them to decrease losses from those indicators. It's a good outcome, and I think my personal opinion is that it is not the result per se. You could have a lot of incidents, and we've seen it. We've seen it that the monitoring centers which are catching their careless employees, and they think it's an incident, and they may just miss real hackers. It all depends on the content. It all depends on those use cases which they may have. And that's why I also would like to have more specific answers. We have half an hour. My next question is about success components. Different initiatives, some kind of internal departments and assignments, and some of the resources. I mean, can you buy like the best firewall and become like the most efficient implementation of this firewall? And what kind of challenges you have to see to be able to come to this outcome? Let's begin. Aidar, can you go first, please? What are the success components? Yeah.
Давайте я, наверное, продолжу вот ту свою мысль, про которую уже
Let me continue my thought, my previous thought.
На мой взгляд, все-таки слагаемый успех
I believe that the success components
экосистемном подходе это
are about a big ecosystem approach. It is not like the CEOs or something else. Speaking about ecosystem, what can we do today? Where can we go with this kind of statement of resultative safety? We have to change the whole perception in the industry about the methods of achieving this outcome. I mean, we are sitting 5 of us on this stage, and we should we be the ones who should be having the risk? Are we supposed to change the whole paradigm about achieving result? If you set the question like that about being demanding, about reformatting our goal, and again, that means that the situation is going to change on the market on all the levels, in IT departments, in the InfoSec departments, with integrators and suppliers and manufacturers and service providers. And I believe that now all of these, structures, they do not share much in common, but I want them to have like a common goals, and maybe there could be a common methodology for the whole market. Yeah, yes, Sergey.
Я даже не знаю, что сказать.
I do not even know what to say, frankly.
Мы нацелены, мы как индустрия, на то,
Well, we, as an industry, we do not want to be intruded, we do not want to be broken into and hacked, and well,
и каждый день
and
занимаемся
every day,
этим. Собираем людей,
this is what we do.
обмениваемся знаниями,
We bring people
определяем
together, we share
экосистему,
knowledge,
в которой участвуют
build
разные
a
компании,
system
но тут же есть еще и
with involvement of different companies, but we also have different governmental regulators and organizations and Ministry of Digital Development,
тоже в терминологии недопустимых событий живет. И
which is also lives within the paradigm of non-tolerable events. Going back to your research, like the companies and people want to be formally compliant with the documents. That's not the only question that they could give. Of course, compliance is going to stay, and compliance usually is like the engine of things, what is pushing things forward, the driver. But now we're speaking about becoming more resultative, more efficient. whenever we have the
Вот,
fines,
и, наверное,
the
мы
fines
все
from the
будем
turnover.
в значительно большей степени заниматься в том
And I
числе и
guess
рисками
it will
информационной
make all of us
безопасности.
to be
Я
more
не так давно
involved
проходил
in the
программу
InfoSec
обучения в Сколково,
turnover-based fines.
где были
I
представители
have
самых
completed my
разных
Skolkovo
индустрий,
study in Skolkovo Business School. We have
всё,
people
что
from
угодно.
different
Это
industries
там
and you name it.
и логистика, и ну, вот
Logistics
всё, с чем мы с вами
and
сталкиваемся. И вы знаете, мне
many,
было
many
очень
other things.
непросто
You know what?
объяснить, чем я занимаюсь.
It was very difficult for me to explain to people what actually
Там
it is
люди,
that I
которые
do.
занимаются строительством или
People who are in
животноводством, какие-то
construction
крупные
or
агрохолдинги.
animal husbandry or big farms,
Говорят,
and
что ты делаешь? Я говорю, ну вот мы
they ask me, what do you do?
обеспечиваем
And I say,
информационную безопасность.
we
Это
ensure
что это
information
такое? Я говорю,
security.
чтобы
Like,
ваши
what do you mean?
IT-системы
To make sure that your
чтобы
IT
вы
system
могли
would not be
доверять своим
compromised, that you'll be
IT-системам,
able to
и
trust
чтобы
your
с ними
IT
работали
systems,
только вы, и
and
никто,
so that
никто
only you
другой.
and nobody else
Да,
will be able
зачем нам
to
это
operate
нужно?
the systems.
Я
Why do we
говорю,
need this? People ask
может
me.
быть нужно, может быть не нужно. Вы
And
знаете,
I
а в
say,
Европе, вот мы на нее много
you know,
смотрим,
like
да,
in Europe,
примеры такие
in Europe,
замечательные.
we've seen many examples, and
Берем. Так вот там есть оборотные штрафы. Я говорю, я
in
не
Europe
приду в
they have
Россию.
turnover-based
Блин,
fines
это что, нам надо
or fines
начинать
based
что-то
on
делать?
business
Я говорю, ну,
turnover.
пожалуй, да. Они такие,
Does it
блин,
mean
а
we have
сколько
to do
специалистов
something?
у
And they
вас
say
стоит?
like,
И
how many,
это к
what's your
разговору про
cost? How much do you guys cost?
Именно,
And this
это то,
is
что
the
вот
work about
переключило
results and
сознание, и
efficiency.
то, после чего
It
люди,
changed their mindset, and people
становятся
become
готовы
ready,
прежде всего,
ready to spend their
энергию и
time,
деньги.
their energy and money.
Ответил?
Спасибо. Да. Павел.
Have I answered? Yes.
Спасибо. Я
Yes, thank you guys.
Так вот, если там про оборотные штрафы вот сейчас не хочу. Мы,
Well, turnover-based fines, I do not want to dive into that.
оборотные
We
штрафы.
work with individuals, and this kind of turnover-based fines, you know, it's a special conversation. It's a separate topic. Anyway, how can we become more efficient and have better
Аналогия не всегда
results?
получается, но я попробую.
I'll try to draw this analogy. Just imagine a house. It's a house like 4 stories.
С торца, с внешней
And
стороны
from the
пристроены
side, on the facade,
Вот-
there is
вот
like
этот
an
дом —
elevator
это
built right to the external facade of this building. So this would be the current infrastructure of a company. IT guys here, they build some kind of business applications, you name it. And then all of a sudden, InfoSec comes, and this InfoSec has to be built to the side of the house.
Такие вещи, как
What I'm saying
обеспечение
is,
информационной безопасности должны быть
providing information security, they have to be implemented to achieve good results. They have to be implemented on the stage of designing whatever you want to design, be it a business, application, information security, or resource and stuff.
про оборотные штрафы, то
Going back to this kind of
в том случае,
turnover-based
если
fines,
вы, как специалист по информационной
if you
безопасности,
as an InfoSec officer,
проработке
if you're part of,
продукта в самом начале,
of,
еще на этапе идеи,
building a product,
проверки гипотез и так
developing a
далее,
product,
и вы
and
можете,
checking your
имея
assumptions,
полное право,
and
спросить,
you
«Ребята,
can
а вы вот в вашем
ask, okay,
продукте
guys,
какие собираетесь
in
данные
your
использовать?
product,
А
what kind of
сколько?
data are you trying to
Какое
use?
количество?»
How much
Просто
data?
которые- и
What
вам
amount of
на этот
data?
вопрос ответят. Потому что
And they
в
will
любом
provide
случае
an
любой
answer to you,
КИО,
because in
он
anyway,
оценивает целевую аудиторию.
because we are
И когда он на этот вопрос
evaluating
ответит,
our
вы сразу
target
можете
audience.
сказать, что
And you can say
для
immediately
обеспечения
that
какого-то хотя бы
to
минимального
ensure a
набора,
minimum
информационной безопасности,
set of
нужно будет
information
закупить
security tools,
таких-то
you have to buy
каких-то
so many antiviruses, so many, you know, analytical tools, and
вместе там
you would have to
с
expand.
Ангарой,
You have to expand by this Angara or whatever, you know, the service contract
еще там, не знаю, 30 активов, там еще
to
чего.
look for more like assets and
И таким образом
whatever
вы
you do.
делаете хорошую
And in
работу,
this way,
потому что,
you do a very good
во-первых,
job because, first of all,
от базиса сразу
First of all,
встраиваете этот лифт в это здание.
you're building this kind of elevator, so to say, to the side of the building. At the same time, you can say,
PNL будущего продукта, да, он будет вот такой. Почему я
I'm sorry,
говорю
PNL
про
of the
PNL?
future
Потому
product
что,
is
как
going to be like
правило,
that.
когда
Why PNL?
совет директоров, например, защищается тот или иной
Usually,
продукт,
when the board of
там
directors they
показывают,
see the presentation
тот
about
доход,
a
который будет
product,
показан. Там,
they show like
заработаем
all
7
the potential
миллиардов
revenue we're going to make 7 billion of
благодаря
something
нашему продукту.
thanks to our
Никто
product.
не смотрит на
But no
то, что
one,
увеличение
no
вот
one
этого показателя L
is showing that indicator, this L, indicators like
что
costs.
он при реализации требований по информационной безопасности в конце
That if you are compliant to the InfoSec at the end of your house, it will be much higher than on the stage if your InfoSec will be plugged in at an early stage. And I believe that when this kind of job is being done, then you can achieve information security with less blood, less money, and much faster than to build it on the later stages. Okay, if I got you right, the sooner you begin, the sooner InfoSec is being built into your business structure, and you ensure safety and security, the better you can achieve this result. So the key to success is an early discussion of InfoSec in any business endeavors. Yeah, like with the early detection, it's better to identify attack on the early stages instead of just dealing it with the later stages. It's the same approach. Vladimir, over to you. Yeah, secure by design, it's a good story. We also support it. What is a turnover-based fines? It's simply another intolerable event. To explain it to the boss. If you cannot explain to the boss today, for example, ransomware, APT attacks, and turnover, fine, it's another intolerable event. Because outcome will be very resultative. Because either you have a leak or you do not have a leak. And it doesn't matter how much money you spent and how many tools you've installed. Either you have it or not. To avoid any leaks. Okay. And next, speaking about the turnover or any other legislative initiatives, it is not like we're going to decrease the amount of digitalization, or you guys please do not process your private data. It's also a great idea, though. But inside, we're doing this kind of work. And as a matter of fact, it's about increasing the significance of the information security. I mean, to make sure that all of us, the InfoSec professionals, become more significant in your company, so that it will be easier for you to reach to the top, to the executives, and then to explain to them, where do you begin? How do you begin? I'm seeing a lot of successful experience when, the boss, very often, the boss needs a peace of mind. Basically, peace of mind. And knowing that things are good and things are transparent. And here it's great when you come and you begin to talk. For example, you're providing a plan that, hey, this is what we are going to do if a catastrophe is. Like, if you don't know how to begin with that. Come to your boss and say, hey, this is my case. If and when catastrophe will happen on Sunday, there'll be nothing, no infrastructure is going to be working. This is how we will be restoring it within 27 days. Like, okay, and the boss begins to understand, can we do something to prevent this? What's the probability? The probability is high, within maybe it's going to happen in this year. We've seen some successful cases when the InfoSec guys, they draw this kind of, catastrophic picture. Next question. Yeah, let's continue, and then I'll just stay for 10 more minutes. The next question is, what is going to change in the InfoSec projects now? And do we have any current projects or any examples of contracts where you can see the warranty or the guarantee and some clear wording of what has to be done in terms of achieving specific results? Do you want to begin? Yeah. That's great. I will begin. So speaking about the big organizations, they do not really like to do any contracts because, we are tough. And frankly, had their bosses would not make them to go into these contracts, they would never go, because you have fines for everything, and huge fines. which can be measured in dozens of percents for the days and hours of incidents. It's very determined and aimed at the final result. It's a very important case. Basically, by writing text specifications, you know what you should have for the software and hardware, and you name it, some lines, whatever they want to do. Eventually, in these contracts, we write some kind of fines for idle time. We should not, and it's like we should be responsible for not being hacked into and things like that. And frankly, I want to suggest everyone, let's go in this way, changing our contracts. And one more thing I want to mention and to give it to you. Oftentimes we are involved in different incidents. In the last years, we got a lot of incidents. We are being involved in the incidents, and we build some tasks, some work groups, and we try to discuss like how could this happen and who is responsible. This question, who is responsible? My logic is as follows. I would like to share it with you. Maybe I'll upset some of the people on the stage. Let's say we have a contract and the CM system has been built or firewall has been built to segment the network where in an incident. We know that segmentation, we've had it. But yes, we've had a monitoring, but there was a couple of events, with some kind of protection tools, and that's it. And looking at all this, when I think, like, who is to blame? Who is responsible? If we see that an organization does not have an expertise, and that's a huge problem. That's a big problem. We have like 15,000 people here in this conference, but we have a big problem with expertise. Oftentimes in companies do not have in-house experts. And even if they do not have a service contract, I have the question to integrators. You have your expertise, and you guys as integrators who say, oh, no, we didn't provide this kind of services, we just implement and that's it. And for only maintenance of this part. And our position is like, you guys, the only ones who had some expert knowledge, who could tell to the boss things are bad, because it's bad like year after year. So let us try to be personally responsible, not only with your customers, but also outside. If you're taking a contract, be it a public, commercial contracts, you come with your expertise. You have to explain to everybody what the final result should be, even if you're just implementing CM. Okay.
Вопрос к уважаемым интеграторам на тему того,
Now the question to integrators.
является нацеленность на результат, и есть ли
Do you
какие-то
see guys like a result-oriented projects, and can you give us some examples? Can you give us some guarantees? Do you provide guarantees?
Спасибо, Сергей.
Thank you, Roman and
Я,
Sergey.
наверное, продолжу то, что говорит Владимир, потому что
I think I'll continue to what Vladimir was saying.
то, что вот Сергей подтверждает.
Like we began our discussion today, and Sergey is confirming, for us as integrators now the main risks are reputational ones. And in this case, we do have the expertise, and sometimes we see, we understand that this, like specs, which our clients identifies or they give us their vision, it's too far from perfect. And basically, I think that we will have on the market like a paradigm shift. Because now the paradigm looks as follows. Okay, the client and customer, they define for themselves what are their pains, what are their pains in terms of non-tolerable events. They do their own consulting internal audit, and they identify what kind of technical tools they need to defend themselves. And then they build some tech assignments, specifications, they give it to the market, and they're asking integrators to do this, to do the job, and that's it. But now we begin to go beyond just a plain integration. Now we are thinking about some kind of consulting when we are thinking what kind of pain our clients should be, what could be the result of it, and how can we solve it. Yes, we do project-based work, but also right after it, we are willing to do the servicing part. And while doing servicing part, we are risking our own reputation, our image, risking, skin in the game, so to say, and we are interested to arriving to a higher standards on the market. Like Volodya is saying, that these companies which may have the expertise, they would be able to carry across their own vision and their own approaches of how to solve different issues and do it best. Thank you, Sergey.
Смотрите, когда мы говорим про ответственность,
You see, when we speak about responsibilities, I also would like to remind about two more things. What we are facing today and what we see in our practice. We are talking about responsibilities. There is an old saying that if you pay, you kind of rule. And if we do just, contracts, we do the audit, we do the pen test, whatever. Yes, I guess all of you have been in a situation when your outcomes are like okay, it's not like you're super thrilled about them. Let's do this and this, take it away, and this, let's do, formulate differently. How can you do that? Because we want to keep working together, and they push us a little bit. And one important thing that we are facing right now, that when these kind of requests are given to us, it's sometimes you shoot yourself in the foot if you do this kind of compromise, because if you have an incident, a leak, or any bad events happen, you've told them things are going to be great, right? You've signed up under this, signed up to it, and I'm speaking about the whole industry. Hopefully, yes, there will be some people you can buy like a false insurance. You can always buy false insurance, but if you want to buy a real insurance, it means like certain requirements of who is ordering it. And the second thing, I really liked it based on what I've heard, based on Vladimir's message. If any integrator would be implementing systems, each of you have your own partners. And this partner should be responsible for safety. Yeah, sometimes you have a ping pong, like this is not ours, we've never had it before in our contract. But if a real incident happens, no one will ask you, did you have it in the contract or not? So whether you want it or not, yes, we do have cases like that. You go, you jump up, it's day or night, nobody cares about it. And you send your team. To provide monitoring, forensics, and protection. And these projects which we do, they are, of course, to a large extent now today, they are based on we ourselves. We do not want to do a free job later on or to create a situation when our reputation, or a situation where our reputation may be tarnished. And again, reputation is all we have. So we want to avoid situations like that. So all the tools have to be like fine-tuned. But if this happened, if this intrusion happens, and can happen to anybody, right? Then that's it. You drop everything and you want to put out the fires. You want to mitigate the consequences. You do the investigation and you restore the system which has been compromised. Yeah, I can see it. I will be very short. That would be great
Если бы при внедрении какого-то бизнес-приложения, да,
if we
там,
implement
ESL,
any kind of business application,
всё что угодно,
ERP, CRM, whatever,
если безопасник опоздал на
if
этап
the
архитектурного какого-то
InfoSec
надзора, да, и
guy was late
приходит и
to
говорит,
like
что вот мы
architecture,
внедряем,
you
да,
know,
было бы неплохо,
supervision,
чтобы,
and he knows that okay, something's been implemented. It would be great if this would be also backed up by the expertise of some like third parties, but from the InfoSec companies.
IT-интегратор говорит, что мы вам внедрим
Like,
CRM,
let's say IT integrator is saying that we're going to implement CRM, and they're saying that Positive Technologies or InnoStage or Angara
другого заказчика это проверяли.
will be double checking with somebody else. And this integrator is capable of building a system to implement it in such a way that it would be safe,
Тогда это дает
operationally safe. And then you are given some kind of guarantee. What may happen later as you begin to operate the system, it's a totally different situation. But when you install it, when you fine-tune, it's good to have this kind of confirmation. Thank you.
And
my final question, самый
собственно, а какую ответственность должен нести
What kind of responsibility should be of the vendor, provider, or integrator when they provide services, when give you products, and it looks like, okay, these solutions or projects, they are not in line with the requirements and you're being hacked? Sergey has done his survey. I would like to give you some answers. Most popular to least popular, and then could you please, like, very briefly to discuss, does this market sentiments resonate with you, or are you feeling something is wrong and you know, your skin in the game should be taken out? So these are the answers. Well, to ensure your risk and compensate for losses, like again, integrator and provider, they have to do it. They have to insure risks and they have to compensate for losses 45%. I have to compensate my losses 22%. I want to compensate my losses within a certain limit of the contract. It's a 17%. And to bring public excuse, public apologies. 11%. I don't know, I never thought that suppliers basically could be liable for any outcome. And many people said that basically we do not want even think about responsibility. I think integrators and providers and suppliers, you know, have been thinking about that.
Такие ответы тоже были. Ну что, как вы считаете?
Well, anyway, what do you think, guys? Let's move on from Vladimir. It looks like it's a good option to provide public apologies. You provide public apologies, and that's it. You're done. But as a matter of fact, I think we cannot avoid this responsibility. We cannot get away from that. And no, not only integrator should be held responsible. And can an integrator be responsible within this amount of the damage? No, you know. Sergey, in my company, we're working with our clients. You cannot, or you'll become a life slave for life. I think
страховка,
some kind of insurance or bug bounty, you know, we could find a solution, something like that. Sergey? Yeah, it's amazing that that suppliers, you know, are being held responsible for any kind of liability. I guess this is not bad. Let's talk about that. I think these options in your poll, they are quite relevant. It's a responsibility within your contract and amounts of contract. We are not unique in the experience of international providers is also well known. Like if we have a malfunction, we have a problem, and the system is not operational. Either fines or penalties that you pay, they may be in part of the contract, and there should be. Yes, we are willing to assume some responsibility and liability. This is what we do. I'm going to advertise my company. This is why we're developing SOCs. security operations centers if we really want to provide high quality service for our clients. And those are the companies who are growing and developing. These are the companies who are building infrastructure guys, network guys, architects. They employ all of these guys, pen testers, and they build up security operations center teams, and they, we increase our own level of protection. And the quality of our services is growing, is decreasing risks with our clients. This would be our goal. But the question is, like, what kind of punishment you can come up with for us? Yes, I guess we could vote about that, but we also have to understand that when we speak about intentions, we will say, all of us will be saying, any supplier will be saying that yes, we will provide you the best offer, and warranty will be close to 100%. And then there'll be a fine print, provide it then, because you cannot dump all of your pain to a supplier. It simply does not work like that. In one way or another, you also will have to be involved in this whole case. We cannot, none of the suppliers, however big you are, you cannot replace InfoSec or IT department. Let's speed up, please. Yeah, go ahead. You have 1 minute only.
Спасибо, да?
Yeah, thank you, Pavel.
Мысли две. Первое — это goodwill.
I have two ideas. It's a goodwill and reputation. If you have a fatality, so to say, then the CISO will have his skin in the game as his career, maybe suppliers will be paying fine. And the second thought,
Что-то Идар так посмотрел на меня, я прям тут в смысле сбился.
Idar kind of looks at me that I even forgot. Yeah, I agree. And the third idea and suggestion to everybody, those who are on the customer side, on the other side, put in the contract this caveat that there'll be a direct responsibility, like within 20-30, something percentage of the contract. And at the same time, you can increase the price of the contract. It will be easier for you to justify to the boss and justify to the business. It will be clear, it will be transparent that yes, each party to the contract will have more responsibility, but there will be a new level of some obligations just between you. And this will be great. It will be much easier to explain to your boss why contract for InfoSec is going to be more expensive, because now you are responsible for a totally different outcome. And secondly, I really like this kind of public apologies, repentance. In some of the companies which I had worked before, we've had a list of how can you can give a bonus to your employee in an apartment and all that. And there was a line item. It's pat on the back before everybody, and good job, good job, and that's a good story, but I don't believe it. But I believe in the insurance market. Insurance market is great. If all of us will be paying into our contract about the compensation in case of incident, then slowly but surely we will get insurance market. The insurance market will be just a level of maturity of all of our industry. Today, it is not mature, because insurers, they are not ready. They do not know how to insure you, for what amounts. But as soon as we get the insurance market, that means that we got great maturity, and this market is really cool. Thank you, guys, and I'm happy for all of us to show our skin in the game, and we are willing to be responsible for the result, and have this kind of resultative conversations, and hopefully you and I will be changing this market paradigm and transform the cybersecurity to provide new outcomes into our projects, and to think about not the processes, not simply like you provide, but simply to achieve a final outcome. Thank you, guys. Angara Company, InnoStage Company, STEC, and Ministry of Digital Development. Have a good day.